Hi, I'm Courtney Julia. Today's video blog is about the effects of caffeine and your workout. Does it help you or does it impair you? And really, the answer to that kind of comes down to you and what you're actually doing. I personally do love to have a cup of coffee before I do a workout. Sometimes even before I do Bikram yoga in the morning, I will have a cup of coffee depending on how tired I am. Now, for the most part, Bikram yoga is the one exercise I don't particularly like to have coffee with. And the reason why I will explain later after I tell some of the negative side effects. But anyways, to start talking first about the positive side effects, caffeine is a stimulant. That means that it's going to enhance your alertness, it's going to enhance your concentration, it's going to make you feel more awake. And it does this by basically blocking chemicals that tell your brain it's tired. So basically, when you have caffeine, it sends in a blocker that just kind of blocks the pathway so that when your body releases a chemical saying you're tired, your brain just does not receive that signal. So you just don't know, which makes you feel awake and alert and energized. That's great for athletic performance because obviously you don't necessarily like to work out when you're tired. Now, however, once you start to get your blood flowing, you begin to wake up anyways. So that effect is somewhat negated. What studies have actually shown, though, is that caffeine basically gets your body to start breaking down fatty acids, so it helps fat oxidation. And now, if you understand metabolism, you know that when you do an endurance activity, your body's main source of fuel is fat. If you can get your body to use fat oxidation versus carbohydrate oxidation, you're going to be able to go for longer and longer bouts and work at a higher level the more effective your body is at using fat oxidation. So that's one benefit that helps your body to utilize fat oxidation. You're also going to have a greater power and strength and speed output. So the interesting thing is that given a placebo effect in caffeine, studies show that you don't have the same benefit using caffeine as you would in a short sport. The benefits only start to last when you're doing an endurance sport because of the fat oxidation benefits. However, without the placebo, when they think that they're not on caffeine, people did worse. And I think that's probably because since caffeine makes you more alert and precise, when you have to do quick movements and draw your energy strength quickly, caffeine kind of helps give you that boost. And if you think you're on caffeine, well, then you think you should perform that way. So at the end of the day, the scientific studies show that endurance athletes will benefit from caffeine. A short distance sprinter, for example, may not benefit from caffeine. However, if they feel that caffeine helps them, then they probably will benefit, which is kind of interesting just to show you that once again, your mind power tends to have more effect than many drugs that you can put into your body. Another benefit of caffeine, this is kind of an interesting one, is that if you're used to taking it, it will perhaps stimulate a bowel movement right away, so that while you're exercising, you don't have a bowel movement. Kind of an awkward one. I know it works for me. I don't like to have to go to the bathroom while I exercise, and if I drink my coffee in the morning, I'm usually good until after I'm done exercising. Now, for those who are not used to caffeine, or perhaps it messes up their system more, this may be a drawback. It kind of just depends on you. Once again, it's something that I would play around with. For example, if you're training for a race, work it into your training, see whether you like it or not. Many people will find that coffee will help them on race day. However, if you never are used to having it, that's probably not going to help you much. Now for some of the drawbacks. And this is kind of why caffeine gets its kind of stigma, its bad reputation, is that first of all, it can cause people to be shaky. If you're not used to taking caffeine, it can make you jittery, dizzy, shaky. And if that's how it affects you, then I don't recommend taking it. Or perhaps try a smaller dosage. Obviously, your body responds really quickly to it, so you don't need as much as maybe your friend who drinks coffee all the time. Coffee can also cause dehydration, so make sure that if you are drinking coffee, you're also drinking plenty of water. Make sure that oftentimes when we drink one liquid, we stop drinking water because that's kind of our favorite liquid. So if you're drinking coffee, not only do you have to remember to drink water as well, you have to drink double. You have to double fist it, grab your water and your coffee. But you also have to drink more water than someone who doesn't drink coffee, because coffee is a diuretic. It's going to make you get rid of fluid in your body that you won't be able to use to keep your heart rate down and circulate blood throughout your body, and you won't be able to use that fluid to sweat unless you replace it with water. The other thing that coffee has been shown to do is that it limits your blood flow to your heart. So what's interesting about that is, if you think about what the effects of that would do, is if we're not getting as much blood flow back to our heart, we're not able to pump that blood throughout the body to work our muscles. Now, what's interesting about that is that affects you with your short sprint. For example, if I'm not circulating blood as efficiently back to my heart in a short sprint, that means I'm going to utilize my resources a lot quicker than I normally would. Now, endurance athletes don't necessarily suffer from this as much, because a trained endurance athlete is going to have an enhanced blood plasma volume. I've talked about that before in the blog that's right below. If you want to read more on that, just check the more info right below. There's a blog about that. But that's why distance athletes aren't affected as much by that. But it is kind of a drawback if you're a sprinter and you're doing a 100 or 200 meter dash. It especially is going to affect you also at altitude. It may even cause you to get sick or dizzy or drowsy. So something to think about if perhaps you're used to taking coffee and you're an endurance athlete, but then you have a race that's at altitude. Basically, as you can see, there's a lot of drawbacks. There's also a lot of benefits, and ultimately it's going to come down to, how does your body respond? Do you feel better when you take caffeine? Do you not? Really, the only way to test that out is for you to try it yourself. So give it a shot. Have some coffee before you work out. Like I said before, I love to have a cup of coffee before I run or do a strength training workout. When I'm running, it makes me feel more alert. I feel more energized. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like I can go longer. I don't feel like I'm exerting as much effort. I tend to find that my running times are faster. When I have it before I lift, I personally just feel stronger. Now, the studies would show that what's physiologically going on, that should not be possible, but I also drink coffee quite a bit. Now, that being said, when I do yoga, I don't necessarily like to drink coffee, and part of that's because I'm almost too alert. My mind's going too fast, and I want to be able to focus only on me and myself and block everything out. For whatever reason, coffee stimulates my mind to move too quickly. So it doesn't really work for me as well in Bikram. I also do find that my heart rate's higher. So when I'm in the hot room, then my beating heart rate just makes me start to feel a little bit more claustrophobic and not as cool and calm as I normally would. So basically, in my experience, I drink coffee for almost any type of exercise except for yoga. Yoga, I tend to like to skip it. Now, that might be different for you. Maybe you like to have it before. Maybe it helps with the bowel movement so that you don't have to go to the bathroom while you're doing yoga. Maybe that's a double reason why you don't like to have coffee before. Once again, I hate to make it so up to you, but I guess really the whole point of this video is to encourage you to try it. If you have not had coffee or caffeine before a workout, give it a try. See what you think. Keep a journal and try it out over time. See whether your best performances are with or without coffee. Ultimately, no matter what a scientific study says, it's really going to be how your body reacts. Anyways, I guess the take-home message is, if you don't normally have caffeine, try giving it a try. If you do, maybe try without. See if you perform better. Otherwise, see what works for you. Thank you. Bye.